does the IT work, and will be giving the Navajo people to Adashi Yikehina, Dais Sabo, Tabanah, Kareya, Debi, Kirigita Hamaya. We have technology now so that we can share, the celebration and share the good work that everyone has been doing to the Navajo people. Usually it's not like that. NavaMill between. We want to say to everyone that is here today, we were looking forward to job creation, economic development. With job creation, economic development comes community development to empower our citizens to do for themselves. And here's one good example of one of our own constituents, one of our own citizens, taking the initiative to create or maybe even recreate, right? Bringing logging and milling and bringing these wood materials back to the forefront. If you guys notice that, if you go get a 2x4 or plywood, man, skyrocketing prices right now. So we have our own natural resources here on the Navajo Nation. And plus, it helps keep our forests healthy, right? When you thin the forests, you are able to utilize that resource for all people. That's true self-reliance and self-sufficiency. And as I said earlier, I appreciate Council Delegate Wilson Stewart and Mr. Aaron Sam and many others, the Vision of Economic Development, and JT Willie as well. Back when we were the vice president, this concept, this plan was brought to our attention. And I thought it was one of many industries that can return back to the Navajo Nation. And as Delegate Stewart knows, when we were the previous administration and now bringing in the latex glove manufacturing facility, the second phase being constructed soon, that's going to bring 300 jobs, new jobs to the Navajo Nation. And now with signing of the NavaMill lumber and logging company land lease, again, more jobs for our Navajo citizens. And that was a vision that Mr. Sam had and the local communities had at the time for Navajo people. And today, I wish Navajo government could work fast, like off the nation. But there's a lot of due diligence that happens. And I think that's why the nation kind of keeps themselves safe. And there's transparency too as well to our Navajo citizens. So aret tanihin nasigi atiche kwa asasi kingi ko hitsala so do sa kunda kaido here to the more yajiguna do the more gonna do the more is coming gonna hitsala so hit on it's there to Ishi Behani, those that have fought and sacrificed, the ultimate sacrifice for this country and our nation will be commemorated and remembered this weekend with Memorial Day. So here's another one too. Toshin da Nesta Monday. Well, Tuesday, Navajo Nation Memorial Day. So we just honor our people who have fallen. And I know that some veterans will say it's not about the ones that are here now, but yeah, you have to, right? You have to honor our veterans that are still with us today. So thank you so much for your service, those of you that have served this country of ours. All right, so we did do prayer, and thank you for the prayer. Also wanted to give some time in a bit to JT Willie, and we are celebrating today a business site lease signing, and Shea Kodo Ashin Shnido Katnesani Bashichin Twitchini Dashiro Tachini Dashamala Shant Hodan Shanto Arizona Nasha Arle Tuneshe the Istra Shimadawa Shije Konda Retiree Oh Huyuna Nishalola Paganaz Ad Hashidon Ishin his bed as a lot of work after you retire from your day-to-day job, because all the stuff that you weren't able to do, you have to do after retirement. So work continues. So my parents are ranchers and are at home taking care of the livestock with my sister. So if my sister's watching, thank you for taking care of mom and dad while we're here serving the Navajo people. My sister Nancy, Kotashi, Ka'necha, Neni Glini. I want to introduce the Navajo Nation Division of Economic Development Team. If you guys can all stand and be recognized, that's JT Willie and his team. Let's give them a round of applause. Economic Development. And the Fort Defense Regional Business Development Office. Thank you. Thank you so much. Also, the Sawmill Chapter, you have Community Land Use Planning Committee too. Why don't you go ahead and stand up and be recognized? They're already standing. Give them a round of applause. Good job. Let's also introduce the NavaMill Lumber and Logging Company. The owner, Aaron Sam, and your team. If you can stand, the team. Thank you so much for your hard work and your patience too, right? You never gave up, man. You guys know the word of resilience, and that word of hadainosne. The business site lease. As I said, the process began several years ago before being approved by the Economic Development Committee, or the Resource Development Committee, on May 5th, 2021. The business site lease is to use 18 acres of land and also the existing warehouse facility located east of Sawmill Chapter. So remember those sawmills that were on operation? It's going to be nice to see logging equipment once again in that area and people working. And of course, taking care of their environment, right? People say that there is global warming and climate change happening and fires happening all around us. This is one way to thin out our forests. Last year, remember, there was a fire up there above Sawmill too, which was this very scary situation, but they were able to extinguish that fire. If we were to begin to thin out more of our forests, we won't have those big type of fires in our community. So that's what NavaMill Lumber and Logging Company will be helping do here on the Navajo Nation with the help of the Navajo-owned company by Aaron Sam. The company will be working with the local communities, local chapters of Sawmill and Fort Defiance and Crystal and many others to make lumber available for sale to our Navajo customers, including Navajo-owned businesses, farmers, chapters, and others. This is one way to utilize our own resources here on the Navajo Nation, right? I mean, all of us that buy lumber, where do we buy it at? Probably off the Navajo Nation, or maybe at True Value or the lumber places here. But where do they get it? Somewhere else. Here, true self-reliance and self-sufficiency to be able to get that developed here on our own homeland. See, that's what So today's signing demonstrates the Nez-Lizer Administration's commitment to supporting Navajo entrepreneurs and businesses. And Vice President did a tour with Delegate Stewart and others the other day, and got to see firsthand the old NFPI talking about the project as well, and it was great to see the possibilities in this project in that community. So benefits, what are the benefits for the Navajo Nation? First of all, it will promote the initiative to where we keep the dollars here on the Navajo Nation, right? Here with spending our dollars, just having it circulate within our community, which would create more options for Navajo families and businesses to purchase materials to build or improve homes and other facilities. The other is the costs of construction materials will be a lot less than what it is out off the nation. You know, you saw this rise in prices throughout the country, just in time for ARPA, huh? They must have planned that out pretty good, huh? All over the country now, there's a lot of projects they're going to be building, and now they increase in materials. But this company aims to provide affordable materials. Now let's give them a round of applause for thinking of Navajo citizens, and which will lead to more job opportunities here on the Navajo Nation. And as I said earlier, to manage forest areas to promote fire suppression and help to prevent more wildfires. This must be done responsibly and in a fashion that is friendly to our environment. But that's who we are as Indigenous people. We got a lot to offer those that manage parklands. You know, that's what we've been fighting for, is being at the table, being co-management. And I think a lot of you that are going to be a part of the NavaMill initiative, the lumber and logging company, I see other opportunities for you in the future, especially the young ones here. I like to see you in those positions, in those national parks, those federal lands, and being there and telling others how to be at harmony with the land and having to be co-managing our resources. And I think it'll go a long way to foster a great partnership between the Navajo Nation, federal government, and others off the Navajo Nation. So again, thank you so much for being here today, and I want to give some time over to our division director, or executive director for the Division of Economic Development, JT Willie. Give him a round of applause, everybody. JT.
Mr. President, Otto Shanai, Honorable Stewart, Otto Aya, Division of Economic Development, Hiro Hihan, and Mr. Sam, our business owner that we're talking about today. I don't higi as though Hihan Hanso Kai. Sheaya Adone Trabaha Inchano Kachini, Bashin, Shihi Edashachiro Kia Ane Dashanale, Ado she bahas adet IC nasha. Ado the Division of Economic Development, the nek dashiko nanish kanchkan, nanish kanchkanigi Division Director Sedli. Ado head over Haynes and Tago dole become ni egi ado Arnold Sogolo dole. Thank you very much for coming today. I'm very appreciative to you all coming and celebrating the business site leasing that's taking place here today. It's remarkable and also historic just because of the times that we're going through with the COVID-19 pandemic that has hit the Navajo Nation. It's been at least over a year now that the nation has come to a stop. Many of our transactions, many of our businesses have come to a stop. We're still not 100% back where we were at prior to the pandemic. Coming into office with Vice President Lizer and President Nez, all of our initiatives were working to build and to regain that trust in the Navajo Nation government. Working with the 24th Navajo Nation Council, our intentions have been to gear towards initiatives of the Nahat Plan, of what was laid out through the campaigns that the President and Vice President went through this past election year. And as we look forward to this next year and a half, it's a lot of catching up that we have to do. And I'm really appreciative to Mr. Sam for being, as President said, patient with the process. Being patient with us through this time and putting things aside and learning the pandemic is currently among us, and it still is among us to this day. But it's looking forward to new horizons, new goals and initiatives as not only as the Division of Economic Development, which I oversee, but with my trustee team that I have in place. All these individuals, Ms. Libby Balto, Mr. Mike at City, as well as Mr. Albert Key, I'm so sorry. Each one of our personnel who have been brought into place have worked hand in hand to work with our business owners through this time. And now it's trying to redirect our initiatives to push forward the business site leasing process, to push forward all the initiatives that we were working on. So for the next year and a half, we have a lot of catching up we're looking to do. And I'm thankful again to our entrepreneurs for being patient with us through this time. And also working with us on recommendations moving forward, things that will be business friendly for us to innovate this division, innovate the Navajo economy, and really gear towards what is located on our communities, our rural development. Ms. Balto here, who oversees our Fort Defiance Regional Office, has been instrumental with myself, assisting her in this process of getting to this point where we are signing a legal document by the landlord of the Navajo Nation himself, our president, who puts all these things into authorization for our businesses here on the Navajo Nation. So as we look to a better future the next year and a half, plus another 4 years after that, we have a lot of work that we have to do in gearing towards the Navajo economy. And I'm really appreciative to be part of this experience and part of the experience here along with our team within the Division of Economic Development. So, and congratulations to our graduates. I'm also an alumni of the Winter Rock Fighting Scouts class of 2003. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to turn time over to Ms. Balto to give a few words to Keha.
Thank you, JT. Keha, Kudo Keha, the Shnidole President Nez and Arnold Stewart and Aaron, Sam, and also two of my staff, Mike and Albert. Thank you. And I also wanted to thank Leonard Francisco Jr. Now he is the manager at the fair office. He did play a role in this one too. I appreciate his help. And also former chapter official. And the for the business side is so Aaron do have the schnido the Kwani Nazago hole she's on she said down the yard and landed new machine but it's I'm Johnny it is a process when you do business side you see none the short about he has some put up our cake and they approve it in you see he had Geneva could have said he had the schnido the chapters that is gift on Kito Okudo. We continue to work with our chapters, identifying business sites to become business site leases. obviously that is such an article. Albert, that's it. I had need all this. Want to say something, Albert? But again, thank you. Okay, this is a really project that's going to bring also homes to our Navajo people, which is a log company. And the Hodges or the put the veterans' homes, it upon Syracuse of Kododalia. Don't lay the Dapaman gave the okay. You see George at the station, Shindy, and you see the Sawmill Chapter, Ajitabaman, don't know, so she had a needle, the 38 of the national support is no Kododa, obviously. Could I see she had a needle?
Good afternoon, Mr. President, Honorable Delegate Stewart, Mr. Sam, Mr. Willie, and of course Ms. Belto, Mr. Mike at City, my co-worker. Che Albert Key and Che Twitch Evening and Shalom Jenny Bush's chain, Gwynagani Edishit Che, all being the told me Asia Nella. Bistich Iji Date and Shadow up Date on Kahish Tendo. Just like Mr. Nez's family, I'm a rancher out there too, so I also have an understanding about the environment and the role that Mr. Sam's going to play in working with us on, eliminating some of these dangers out there that we face. It was, and it did take some time, but I want to thank Mr. Sam for his patience in working with us. I don't want to delay this any further. I know everybody wants to get going, so good to see you, and I'm glad to be here today. Thank you.
Give them a big round of applause. They're the movers and the shakers that get all the documents. Look at how thick this is. They got all this prepared, and I think the council and the president do the easy part, right? They approve it, and then I sign it. But it is a celebration today. I want to also say it's hard to recognize some of you out there because of your masks, right? But I appreciate everybody wearing their masks. We still have a mask mandate here, but I do see former Council Delegate Ben Bennett here as well. So I served on the council with Delegate Bennett when it was 88. So everything no say be best my son. Dan has trained Ben Bennett at Alihinan Shidi. Yeah, though even that's echo. Underneath, and then we got our Wilson Stewart here, our new delegate. Really, we're all pushing the former leaders' plans into the 21st century, plus some new ideas as well. And I want to say too, as well, to Mr. Stewart here, thank you for your service throughout this pandemic. I saw you there with some of your community members, and JT was out there giving out food and supplies. Remember when it started, the Dinas Negi, Yom day using that corn hinat ani sakon at Silade and Zenigi Ea Quich Nahanda Khedon Nahanda Pa Beach any Kahna Lenyati Nasnigi. I think we're seeing, as they say, the light at the end of the tunnel for leaders such as Mr. Bennett and Mr. Wilson Stewart, and many of you that have been on the front lines, putting your own health and well-being on the line so that we could be able to get through this difficult time. But we've done this before. Our ancestors have done this before. From before Fort Sumner to Fort Sumner, even as recent as tuberculosis outbreak, hantavirus, and now COVID-19. But we are a strong nation. We are a strong people, and we are able to be one of the highest, I think the highest vaccinated people throughout the world. Just imagine that, all over the world. We received a couple of 100,000 shots, doses. 91% of what we received have gone into the arms of our Navajo people. But we're not out of the pandemic yet, but we're starting to get back into some normal operations. So again, just as the leader said, Aaron, thank you for your patience. And because of your patience, we're celebrating today. So I'm going to turn the time over to our councilman. Give him a round of applause. Councilman Wilson Stewart.
Thank you, President. Nez Arunda Kuro, Hanagi Ethel, Shitsila JT, Arunda Shitsila Nanas, Aaron, Sam, Aroshima, Libby, Aro Mike Shana, Arunda Shanala, Albert, Ako, Arokuro, Honey Glanigi Ethel, Shitsila Yaja, Aaron, the parents of Flinigi, but Adam Flinigi, so Yat A, Arunda Shanana, so Honorable Ben Bennett, so Yat A Shana, Arunda Chapter Delegation of Flinigi, Ron Shana, from Sawmill, ANS Link Acting Chapter Coordinator, Aro into the Quado, so Lana, Shanat Linigi, Mr. Sean Livingston, a Chapter Secretary Treasurer, Don the staff, so Angie Brown, Aro the corner, so Anarita, a Club C, a Tata Jelinko, they're in the back, he had Quan Hadaso Kai, Aro Banada, President staff, so do is not angi tani hinatiki ta corner Facebook ki yitota, so yat around the Kobe, so Arnold spot, yat do kodo so is not ashwas and yehat, sarazan yehat z, do kodo yiti not source and the application process. O kodo is it took a while, Shana kono ade it asho. 7 years to start as lead, that's a when they plant the seed, so I like it just here when you have to wait, yeah. Could suck, it's there now, it's growing. When we look around, it's like those little trees out there growing, should select. When the business about Hulkia should select. General, you deal with all general. You can't really, the net and leave the car deal with all that. Without it, should have an nancy. Without a non-cess case, also should select. Don't have a little bit of all count, don't make any kind of natural put out. So that's the have no faith of quite a gift of hands and a thought put out, so the car not jail. Aro, so put out, President Nikki put out your hot see, so it takes a community to start a business. No, you hundred see. Ani, I could join here, I could answer their case. You have to think of what's going to happen in the future. What happened in the past with NFPI, Navajo Forestry Projects, that was a lesson learned. They did their best, and it was lumber that's still there. You go to Gallup, businesses put on leaflet. I removed a wall, and then there's boards in there that say NFPI. They have the orange moon on there. To see those lumber still there, even in Sawmill itself, the community in the south there's those old homes that are still standing to this day. That shows how strong our timber is, our lumber is. And it was very valuable at the time. All of a sudden it got shut down. These exchange, we're trying to look for funds to clean up what was left behind, but we're progressing on again. So to see what other ways we can reestablish a business like that again. To clean up the forest, President Nez-Lizer, to clean up the forest, we know there's a lot of trash out there, needles, that can start and ignite a forest fire. How can we recycle those to be more efficient and more cohesive to the environment? So, case, to be a part of the Resource Development Committee. We hear all these plans and we hear all these initiatives from the entrepreneurs out there, from this type of business to establishing another small business of maybe going into paper or plastic, whatever it may be, you know, like glove factory, all these things that we can produce here on Navajo, and we need to progress in that way. We even have ranchers out there too, are wanting to produce more livestock out there to make it more accessible for us to use. And then we have NFPI as well, that's going to be looking for cleanup again, and like I said earlier, you know, and then we also have the NAPI, you know, that's looking at expansion as well, and with the water resources coming in from San Juan, and all these things, like President said, you know, these are plans from the past that are still being carried out. New plans are being born with the new leadership, and we want this leadership to continue in that way for the next generation to continue. Again, you know, and sitting here, you know, looking around, you know, we had graduates here, promotees here today with us. But you know, when I look back on it, you know, Cecilia Hatzi, you know, Windrock, 2003. My LDA is Windrock, 89, that's Shanina. And then, you know, Aaron's also Windrock. I'm Windrock, class of 90. You know, so this is all from Windrock. President, so. But that was just to share that, you know, and to say, you know, it comes from what we've learned as well from our educators to continue that ladder of education and to continue to climb it and to make ourselves better for our families and for our nation. And I'm glad that we're all here at this time, President, to share this signing with you. And I'm thankful for the invite to be here with you this afternoon, President. It's always good to be at your right side and to hear your words as well, to be a part of any recognition that you do. So thank you, President, and thank you again, everybody, for being here. Arkansas.
Thank you, Delegate Wilson Stewart, for your words and your encouragement. And what I'll do is, I was going to give the time over to Aaron, but I think he just wants me to sign this document. So I'm going to sign the document, and then we'll give some time over to Aaron to say a few words as well. So we're going to sign the document now. If some of you want to come over and be behind us while we sign, you're open to do that. People can take some pictures. And some of you are, okay, well, I should say all of you are dressed up, but some of you have some turquoise on you. So let's show off the turquoise, right? The power of the nation. So this is a business side lease. Again, we want to say thank you to Speaker Damon, the 24th Navajo Nation Council, the Resource Development Committee, Chair Rick Nez, and the entire RDC, including Wilson Stewart, the Division of Economic Development, and of course, the NavaMill Lumber and Logging Company executives. That sounds big time, huh? Executives. Aaron, Sam, as the owner and the leasee. So Aaron did sign it May 4th, and I'll go ahead and execute this lease for 25 years, huh? 25-year lease with an option to renew, which begins on the date the lease is signed by myself, the president, and this is a standard business site lease for signature.
After my birthday. And Vice President, did you know that our birthdays are on the same day? Wow, God has a sense of humor on his birthday. go, ladies and gentlemen. The lease is here's your pen.
And I just handed Aaron the pen that signed the documents. Congratulations, Aaron, Sam, and the NavaMill Lumber and Logging Company. Let's give them a big, big round of applause and all the partners as well. So I'm going to turn the time over to Aaron here to say a few words, and we'll close up.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say Yati Doye Dishnidoli, Shigish Nashik Hasmo. Adam Dadi Quayana before the Nebeke and Long. Adi Vihati Day, 2000 Dasso. Setna Junido Sox, Adam the Yoknapokos, Lido the Bensa. And that's a note that Adam the Chichur, Conti in the Nehe, the Shnidoli. At Sagi Yakon, Ni Lange, Ni Hon, Ni Naka, home Mr. Jonathan Nez, here. Adon the Myron, Myron Nez-Lizer, here, the Shnidoli, Vice President of the Navajo Nation. It feels real good to be here as the Ne. As a Navajo, as a Dene entrepreneur, 100%, I would like to say thank you to the economic development for your strive as well as your encouragement. I would like to thank Mr. Wilson Stewart Jr., Honorable Council Delegate, for taking the stride from the previous Council Delegate, Mr. Benjamin Bennett. Mr. Benjamin Bennett had a good idea in regards to supporting NavaMill, and we went before the Sawmill Chapter at that time. And from this day, it made it this far. I would like to thank the Sawmill community. Stuido Sani, Adon the Action no Segli, Yatedo He Dishnido. I would like to thank the Sawmill community chapter. The chapter president, Shada, Mr. Willie Bennett, Aron Daeya, the vice president as well as secretary and treasurer. Aron Daeya, I would like to thank the Club C committee members. But this is a real good idea. And Shane Badole, Shui Suzani, Aron Dahowan, Jafana Kast, and Idon Dachet as a whole one. We got to revamp as well as bring new infrastructures of housing, bring back our cultural structures of our hogans back to the Navajo Nation. I would like to thank Libby Valteau and the staff. I'd like to thank Mr. Key for being instrumental in helping me. I would like to thank all of you. I'd like to thank my mother, Marcinda Sam, as well as my Nali Freddie and Pearlie, though Mr. Ferlin Begay, as well as Mr. Williams, Robert Williams, and my grandson and my nephew here, the supporting, and as well as my Nali here, and this is Dishigegi, Kyler, Sitsito, Shanae, and also Shiedo, Kaden, yeah. I'd like to thank all my family members for being support and for not giving up on me. And I'd like to thank my late father who went he took his spiritual journey to the heavens. And it feels real good today to see our honorable Navajo Nation president here to sign and to see that my dad spiritually being here and to witness what has happened today. I really feel for my people. I really feel that to go out there into deep reservation and to rural reservation and see how our people live, and that what strove me. That gave me that encouragement as well as that strength and that and that way, that self-reliance that I want to help my people. And this is only the beginning. I ask of you, Ashode, Shanata, Mr. Wilson Stewart Jr., Shana, like your support again, and keep striving. I'd like to Ashwandashina, our Honorable President of the Navajo Nation, my Shipshado, Mr. Willie, all my people, all the chapter, all the leadership, to have that support, and this is only the beginning. Like Mr. Wilson Stewart said, is that this is the seed now that's been set today, and I want to see it happen. I want to see that our young generation, that this venture is not going to judge them because they don't have a degree, but it's gonna actually help them because we're really good with our hands. We're really good at making things possible. We're really good with using our axe. We're really good at our chainsaw. We want to bring those type of individuals and welcome to NavaMill and making them have employment and bringing work and bringing infrastructure, rebuilding grandpa's home out there. I'd like to thank all of you. I'd like to thank each and every one of you. Thank you very much, and it's a good day, it's a blessed day, and God bless you all.
All right. Thank you again, Mr. Sam, and thank you to everybody that's here. I guess we can open mic if some of the officials would like to say a few words, or if not, then anybody want to say a few words?
Mr. Stewart, economic development, for the Finance Chapter House, you call Jackie by Hens and clear change another hour. He's my knowledge. She asked my first son to be a call she and my son, the Kashini, she the Hashchinako, Nashchinako, a call, the Shido, the Yego, Quina Hashi put out Agina, the story now, Ado Kodo, Nito Dito, Nito put Ado, there's no Aga, but oh, yeah, yes, kiddo. Economic development, yeah, not that or Adebakana, Ja, Kunza, Hodges, Do Kunza, the Aya, Belata as they gish by Hens and Do Hashim, so Yego Aya. Support that Edo, which we had that too, what Oceanaria, Eho, what Kunza de Aya, Tonabaya, Esalito, what Osher, Shikabaka, this show, Dojo, Days and Don Lego Baran. But how then she eat over had the show about Joe Bago the Baran Hashi, but lumber about just on the other that days had done so the Aya, Kuban, just case on this. Sinestриdo, illegal Aya, Azendo, there's no hot oil, yes, of course, it's a little by Haynes and a cop. I donate nature, could that, Edo did that, Edo late. Ni Jano Natatato, Donato, Nis Aya, but he know which we are days here. Of course, a little by Hanson, but a disjointed this Jano, I think PH, and so see Basan, Elia, Codonate, Nis Aya, and she had need over and I need had no say so, had no trust on Jano, she need to put up business that don't was it up on this case, but not to but again, he didn't need all it. I'm not so far. Although, Sas Tridos, she answered up on date either. Bandit owner, she's door. Should more said, another cattle, my great knowledge, though support us any Robert William, thank you. Though he citizen that needs, though Hajim son that you can't, Joe Biden needs it. Ani Scotia Bate needs an or Jonasha do Azen the Hatme. A copy Chiria Jahano, Anibina Nashadata, for Sawmill the A.O. then O. Ate Aya Hazin so A. Adashidus Chi, Niji Hasande, do Adashia Ho Ado, Physician, I got a wood spring, one yaja, aja, late nado, shama aja, not zab, kate, late not a day out in here. Nini G. Angelo has on it was on it and based on the law as a dal so Chiliada and young Tado shipping Yado, be Katis is though, be Yat El Ia, Nigia Sam, Lumber Jackie Ho. Echo Aya. Now, the shot that on Navajo Joe, in no other, or you Hassins the only of the G. Adore shut down none of the no the chingy need. A day, a lumber yet, and what I know condition that I could oil this. Oh, don't the lance note about his case. He had hinge needly. Siciliasher, Doshi Yash, Mr. Ness, President Ness, though. Mrs. Stewart, though the Council Kagi Arnold Bennett economic development, Egon, a cow, Jaggy hours at Bentasol, 2 years, a young Abia, and Kato, other support him. The Boyat Eto, no citizen, I each cannot cut it. Now that's good, that the Kunza, the Yella. Digin has auto digin and then his whole castle decode then yea go on feed on it on the head needs is Bahata needs and though that the need be Hadi Kakunza the Eri Kuda honey no Edo Yoba Heads though President Naz he had all such a nature young kid or but no the Hans and no yon he no so then he young still. Ni ni chias toni ni na ges tonda tena jo pagi la an ola jo pagi no yon hot no ni chias ke la le do hota ni dan press to na ha dan zen da hot on ni chias ta sta tika na ha zen la yon hot ni lan so in anticipation ko hands do to kwaki kagi ke lan fidish ni doli afon so doli
Allah jiki ashya utilization Nishinan Mr. Jonathan, President Jonathan Nez, and Vice President Liza. Although the economic development initiative in the other chapter has ongoing, what the Vice Chapter for Sawmill, behind and then it is a comedy and the engineer. I don't know that I see indeed no, they get a share. I got that in she where she has whatever she can. To necessarily mention. I don't trust that I don't put on it as a chick. Not what night watching the Chanel. I call her. She has a wear con. Not to unicorn it all of Cote. Nijin the new car in. Dude into the sincerity of not in here. When she changed any. My grandson with the snow coat up. Because also Zinko. But she has a wear. Mr. Stewart, Wilson Stewart, Chanel that touching the Chanel. You Chanel is named Banashta, you wonder. But other thought of Jesus. I don't know the former chapter officers and below. I thought Mr. Benton here. Your nature, but don't know what I'm share kind of idea to city go tapan and they were using them. But other ya share the station
ado te ya economic development class to ado they one has ado the companies tan all the way from Wisconsin to ado the that is what the sin zondo is so on Tuskegee because due to that so ni about 75% we get benefit with that. About 25% of what I'm job by you can soon now start so on the tender no. So either what either one side case go. How when the bundle behind the hot don't so what other one side case go. Each chapter and then the issue was a lot of you got what I yet what are they want this case and then go here go. I don't Nachin Linigita Kona, that is Tadako. I congratulate all the graduates, but Erko, but Elako, here. I don't supporting with Enigina and the other Kienta then has in the Avako, but one day on the horse. Patient and the area so that the new is in we all have a good feeling of signing that documents with Elko, a share, she aware what Elako. I was a share, I'm not talk, but she's funny, lonely, Christian, not the contact, she's after I know that never of the time, I think so, but it's a long case. It's good to see all of you again. But I thought quite a last one thing I want to honor you. The teacher is love zones you are the Navajo Nation, Commander-in-Chief with Elko. 이제 예전에 거리나 희생시고 아주 이제 이거 대야나 하고 대도서 앞서는 된게 뒤에 예전에 처음에나 희생시 지하철에 was saluted that way as the commander-in-chief. But thank you.
Yeah, my daddy. Thank you. All right, anybody else? If not, congratulations again, Mr. Sam, and thank you for our veterans that are here, all the entire team that are here. Wilson Stewart, great job on your community's behalf. And have a good day, everybody. God bless you. Those of you that are watching live, we want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Did you want to say something? Okay, one more person here that's going to say something.
Good afternoon, family and relatives. Thank you. I'm originally from Sawmill, Arizona, and I'm thankful that Mr. Sam, my Nolly, opened up the facility and it's going to go forward. And I appreciate that. A lot of our relatives out there, Mike Clay, Buell Park, Blue Canyon, they need renovation, they need housing. They tell us, we vote you in, we expect something in return. So I brought this to their attention quite some time back when Mr. Sam told me about it. So I went out to locations in White Clay, also Buell Park and Sawmill area. And I'm really thankful, and they're thankful for what Mr. Sam is going to give to our community, and also jobs to our folks there in Sawmill. But I just want to thank you and thank the Creator upstairs for everything that He's progressed for us. And also Mr. President Nez, thank you for signing our paperwork and moving it forward for us. I appreciate that. Myself, I just ziga. Share shall Nez, I should Janito, Twitchini, shall Taba, Habashish, Tohane, that should not let Tachini, that should she had eyes, and my parents are Richard Begay and the late Lana Begay from Sawmill. But I just want to thank you and all my relatives here, thank you. Also Mr. Wilson, thank you for everything that you've done for us today and also with the pandemic that happened. Thank you. I'd like to honor Robert, my son, for your service, and your family, Mr. Sam, thank you. Your kids, your your mom there, Marcinda, your sister Ashley, your little grandbaby, and Pearline and Freddie, Papa Freddie, and also relatives from Sawmill that you're still here with us, and also Mr. Bennett, thank you. I'd like to remember Roscoe Smith and Dan Smith for helping their input within the time that they were in office also. I used to work for Sawmill Chapter with them, so, and also Mr. Bennett and Ralph Bennett. So just like to give thanks to my community and to the president himself. Thank you.
All right, we'll call this meeting adjourned. Have a good day, everybody. God bless you. God bless our great Navajo Nation.